My name is Alex Chu, and I play for support for TSM Snapdragon, and I'm at GDC.
So let's start by talking a little about how you got involved in esports.
Esports has kind of been around for a while, but has only recently exploded. I started playing League of Legends a while back, like 3 years ago, and basically what happened was I was playing in solo queue, and I met up with a couple players. You might have heard of them, called Reginald, the odd one, and we just formed a team. Team SoloMid, and then we just played in some online tournaments, and then we started playing in LAN Season 1, and here we are now.
Can you talk about the success your team has had over the years?
Yeah, so Season 1 we took 3rd place. We won the NA Regional, so we pretty much were the best team in North America at the end of Season 1, and pretty much same for Season 2. We had a rough start. We did poorly at some events, but Season 2 we were pretty dominant over the NA scene, but we fell short at the end, and we lost to Koreans at MLG and at the World Championships. It was very unfortunate. And here in Season 3, we're actually doing fairly well. We're 3rd place in NA, but we're looking to get that top spot.
Can you give us an idea of what it's like, what the life of an esports athlete is like today?
It's honestly not much different from, say, actual sports. I mean, the training obviously is going to be different. We obviously play video games, and that's kind of how we practice. But overall, we still eat, we still sleep, and we still do exercises, and we gotta keep our body fit and just not be too unhealthy.
When it comes to your lifestyle, people get a glimpse into it with the new GameSpot show. Can you talk a little about that show and living in a gaming house?
Yeah, so we have a show on GameSpot called Game Crib. It's been pretty popular, and it pretty much just goes through what we do just outside of gaming. I mean, it does show part of our performance, but a lot of it is about us and about what we do for fun and stuff like that.
What's it like having those cameras around all the time?
Oh man, at first it was kind of awkward, but one thing that we had was that we always streamed and we always had our cams on in the first place, so it wasn't that unusual for people to see our faces. It was different having cams all over the place, all over the house. I mean, now you just can't scratch your butt in front of the camera, like, you'd be very careful about that. So just stuff like that you'd be careful of, but overall it's not too different.
What is the difference for someone, there's a lot of fans out there that play League of Legends, what does it take to become a pro?
Like any sport, it takes a lot of ambition and it takes a lot of effort. I mean, part of it, there is some talent involved, but more than anything, it's putting in the time, putting in the effort, and wanting to succeed. A lot of players who play League of Legends, they quit, or like they stop giving their all, and we, as pro players, we can't do that. We have to always put in our best efforts every single day, day in, day out, and just constantly strive to improve. And that's the one big thing that a lot of newer players and people who aren't as serious, they obviously don't do, and that's a big difference.
From an inside perspective, what are your thoughts about the rivalry that seems to have developed between StarCraft 2 fans and League of Legends fans?
It's honestly hasn't been that bad nowadays. I mean, people started to realize that, well, StarCraft 2 is big, League of Legends is slightly bigger, but they both sort of help propel the vision of esports into the more mainstream. So, I mean, we look at StarCraft 2 and we're like, okay, we're a bit more popular than they are, but it's not a big deal. We don't go rubbing it in their faces, and frankly, really no one cares. Both sides do their own thing, and both sides just advance the popularity of esports.
What are your thoughts on the influx of MOBAs that we've seen post League of Legends and what impact they could potentially have on esports?
Well, when you have such a large market, a large amount of fans who like playing MOBA games, naturally it's going to be more MOBA games in general. But a lot of these new games are most likely going to fall out. I mean, that's just how it is. There's usually 1 or 2 games that are just really, really popular, and so far it looks like it's going to be League of Legends and Dota 2. So those 2 games are probably going to be most popular, but we'll see what happens. And for esports, I mean, a lot of these newer games are not going to have that sort of community and that sort of traction, and most people won't know about them. So the big ones are obviously League and Dota 2, and those are the games that are probably going to be the forefronts of esports.
And where would you like to see esports 5 years from now?
I have pretty big aspirations for esports, but it really, really depends on the efforts of everybody. It depends on the players just to constantly sort of push themselves and become more of a personality and make us more accessible. Like us coming to GC, I mean, it's part of a reason why we always go to these events, just so fans can meet us, they can have interactions, and that's something that you didn't really have a couple years ago, and that's going to really help more people just recognize and support us. So in 5 years, it can really go anywhere. Riot has really taken the steps needed to push it into mainstream, but it's going to take a lot more effort, a lot more time, and it's really tough to say where it will go in 5 years, but it has gone a lot in these past 5 years.